Welcome, dear guests. To kick off the discussion, I'll ask a short introduction of each of our guests tonight. Who are you and what you are doing? And the most important question in the first round: will the Slovenian team manage to win the Ukrainian and with at least 3-0 and qualify for the European Championship?
Hello. Being from Maribor and being in Maribor, I feel I need to say yes, at least 4-0.
Oh yeah, okay, I want applause. Woo!
Yay! I'm not going to say that I'm not going to follow the game because I don't really care, but yeah, let's not go there. Hey, and thank you for inviting me. My name is Peter. I come from the Red Orbit agency, and I've been working for. So the main part that I always do, the main thing where I come from is search engine optimization, making websites rank high in Google. And of course, that means I have to work a lot with websites, content on the websites, user experience. And because we are an agency that does a lot of advertising, of course, I know a bit about that. So yeah, that's me.
Thank you, Peter. Next.
Can you all hear me back there? Sweet. I'm Alex. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I graduated from the Michigan State University, so I'm a Spartan. And go green. Regarding to your soccer team, best of luck. I only care about my Spartans, but you guys.
Okay. We talked before that Kopacka in Slovenian mean the football shoe, so it's.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's not a coincidence that we host you tonight here.
I have some football background in my family history, so.
All right.
Yeah.
How many knees before you, or way back in your family, or just?
Who knows?
Was your father a famous soccer player?
Yeah, my father did play indoor soccer, but I never picked it up.
Okay.
Apparently, I play soccer like a hockey player, so.
Okay. And Alex promised us, because his family name Kopacka also means in Hungarian some sort of dance. And he promised us that if the Slovenian wins, he will dance next Müsli, the famous Hungarian dance for us. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so it's a promise, all right?
Yeah, so all you guys have to do is win. And
okay, yeah.
I can embarrass myself in front of all these people, right?
Okay, yeah. Piece of cake. Thank you, Martin. Oh, sorry, just to interrupt you during your drink.
No problem. Good evening, I'm Martin from bStoked. Regarding the match, since Alex promised I wouldn't shed any doubt about the win, it must happen. We want to see the dance, definitely. So I'm the co-founder of bStoked. It's a sports experience marketplace, kind of Airbnb, TripAdvisor for sports trips. We pretty much have this challenge of how to grow globally, as we already have now a global customer base, but we want to do this more strategically, so we have questions regarding SEO and more paid traffic oriented strategies, so let's hope we have a constructive discussions tonight.
All right. Alex, tell us, what is your responsibility in the Reveel team? What are you doing? Or
I'm acting as Yonje's American sidekick as far as American outreach goes.
Okay.
So that is my official title, if you will.
All right.
So I'm helping him infiltrate or penetrate the U.S. market. So it's me.
All right. You got obviously some experience with the U.S. market. Tell me, is it impossible to penetrate the market, or what are the strategies you experienced or you learned so far, to become part of the U.S. market?
Oh boy, where to start? Of course, in America, it's all about who you know, and the more people you know, the larger, population you're gonna reach. So the idea is to build trust through a very promising brand. That's what we're trying to do with our content marketing strategy. Because we're trying to build a brand that people can really resonate with, someone can trust, and that's one of the first things we have to do is really build a mission statement, and all our content will be generated around that and kind of follow our mission, our vision. So once we have that, we'll be able to really kind of identify us as, Reveel. So.
Okay, how do you tend to build like a brand on a really huge market? What are your instruments or your tools to penetrate in the mind of people who you want to be recognized with?
Well, seeing as though we're overseas here, it is quite hard without people on the ground. So you are going to need a little bit of a robust content social media campaign. So really hardcore content, especially to stand out amongst the big players in the industry. Mm-hmm. So the better content you have, the better exposure you're going to get.
Okay. You got a lot of. Do you have a strong capital background, so you can build big team which will produce a lot of content to build this market awareness, or do you have some sort of niche strategic approach to achieve the same goal with less amount of people and capital?
Well, I would kind of oppose having a large amount of people or a large team working on a strategy such as this, just because it's going to be hard to share the same kind of dialogue, if you will. A lot of people are going to disagree about, everything has to kind of sound the same. You're going to want, the same kind of sound across every social media platform. So you're going to want a smaller team, in my opinion.
Okay. And what would be your unique selling proposition, or what will be your edge opposed to your competitors or other players on very, very crowded market in US?
Well, I think, Shazam, it's got to be, I hate using their name because, I won't say it, but they're big, they're powerful, and they kind of have an edge on us right now. But we have this kind of almost first mover advantage in identifying ourselves in the retail space, being that e-commerce solution that everyone looks to. They're more branded themselves towards music, so we kind of have that advantage over them. So unless they want to kind of backpedal and, kind of spend a lot of money rebranding, we got the edge.
Is Shazam only your competitor, or is maybe your strategic buyer or your exit?
Boy, I don't know. I don't think that's up to me.
Right. All right. Thanks for now, Martin. You're also pushing hard to be present on the global market. You're a very small team. You don't have any, big VC or capital investment so far. Okay. So, what is your fighting strategy?
If you're a small team like we are more or less 4 co-founders, and now our girlfriends also joined us to do a bit more social media and to get some girl power in the team, which is always good. You always have to be very efficient, obviously, and the 80-20 rule is, something that must be always in front of you. You always have to do the 20% that has 80% of effect, and obviously to take advantage of all what the internet has to offer, you have to be on several paths, let's say. So you need to do something in terms of paid advertising, you need to do something in terms of to create organic traffic, and then, especially in our case, we are business to customer, it's very important to have a great brand, as also Alex stated already. So there are so many things to do, so how can you do it if you're a small team? It's just very challenging, and you're never able to do everything you want. So you really have to just sacrifice the things that are not most important, and sometimes it's hard to have like a really clear vision of what is important in this moment. It's very challenging, I would say.
How do you set the week-to-week tactics or strategy, what you will do? How do you choose what is important and what is not? And yeah.
Well, I can't say that we are the most organized startup so far, so I wouldn't be like the best example, but at least what we try to do is to have some kind of marketing meeting, once per week, and set like a strategy of what the budget is that we want to spend, where each person will work on. So we just try to make a plan, obviously, but it's also hard for us because we are a remote team, so there are 2 guys in Germany, not even in the same city, and 2 in Slovenia, so it's hard to coordinate. So every meeting is very precious, so you can't just spend like 5 meetings talking like stuff that doesn't really matter a lot, So yeah, I think it's just very crucial to define stuff definitely in advance, but I think it might be easier when we have at least a bit of capital, because now we're still like having our day jobs and doing this on the side, which is very hard. And if you're like well funded, at least that we all go full time, I think things might get more organized. But I can't give you the answer you would like to hear, the precise, strategy and organization.
Okay. Welcome, by the way, welcome to the club of the unorganized, bunch of people who are, changing the strategies from week to week and are doing 24-hour jobs. This is startups, so it's your own fault. But to maybe give us some perspective and some kind of framework of how do the big boys do their marketing strategy, maybe Peter, you can explain us. You are working for the Adria Airways company on this web presence and web marketing strategy. So tell us what is their approach? What are their pillars of activities, and what results could be expected?
All right. So first of all, it never stops, the unorganized group of people. It's not startups. It's called companies, I feel, right? Or maybe we're just weird, but it's good to hear. I think I can very much relate to what Alexander said on the creating good content as that being the basic of every good marketing strategy. I don't want to throw around buzzwords like inbound marketing or content marketing or storytelling, right? The buzzwords that are now in or were in a couple of years ago. But generally, content should be the thing that is the basis on what your marketing is going to work on, right? And this is something, Adria Airways is one of our clients that we've been working for around 2 years, let's say, right? Not really as much being in content right now, but there will be a surprise very closely in a couple of weeks, I hope. But what is the most important thing with every marketing, and especially with what we do with Adria, is measuring the success of what you do. And it's not only measuring we have sold X amounts of tickets, it's measuring of what exactly did the good thing, what exactly did sell the ticket, right? So the first thing that is very important is to separate your marketing into the things that Google would call the consumer decision journey, right? In the parts where people only have interest into your products, the thing that we would also call branding, right? And the part where people start searching for your products, and then into the part where people start buying your stuff. And if we measure every single part of that journey that user does on your website, and not only on the website, but also on the internet, then we can exactly know how to strategically position our marketing and strategically create our marketing, right? What we did with Adria, one of the things that I can say is, what we did is we know that a user has to come to our website, I think it's 5 times, right? So the user has to come to the website 5 times before he or she is going to check the flights, right? So we know that from then on, it's going to take X amount of time for the person to buy the ticket. So what we then can know is that if we start investing into the first parts of the consumer decision journey right now, we know how much we have to invest and we know how much time it is going to take for a user so that we get that purchase, right? And that allows us to have a strategic view on what parts of marketing that we have to give a bit more or give a bit less to have different results that we want to get from marketing.
This consumer decision journey, is this applicable for every type of business? You have different clients in your portfolio, obviously. And do you have the same approach for every single client, or does it differ, or is the approach different, depends on industry or sector from which the clients came from?
In the general, the idea is the same, right? There are, if we check analytics for any website, we're going to see that 99% of the people that are on our website are not buying right now, right? The normal conversion rate would be something around 1%, right? So there's 99% of people on our website doing something else than buying. So what are they doing? They're not ready to buy yet. They need more information. They need something else that we convince them. May that be knowing more about the brand or trusting the brand more, or having more information about the product. So yes, that the idea of those different stages that consumers do before they buy can be applied to any parts of any industry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, right. Okay. Looking into retail, we know that we are not buying a refrigerator right now when I decide I need a new refrigerator, right? We know that, like in banking, it's going to take 6 months for a user to have to go and get a loan for a house. We know for insurance, the journey is going to take around 2 months, right? So all of those different industries do have different stages and different time frames that are going to take a user from the beginning of the information phase to the purchase, but in general, they're all the same.
Good. I like the structure, so I'm very satisfied with your explanation and answer. All right. But one more question: How are you measuring this? Different kind of stages the user is traveling through. Are you having some, super secret tools, or how can you measure and know in which phase the user is in at the moment?
We pretend that we know very exactly what is going on. Of course, we don't know it very exactly. What we do know is that those phases are not really. Now he's looking into information, now he's comparing products, and now he's buying, right? It's very fluid. But of course, on the other hand, having good setup of Google Analytics or any other tool, but we always use Google Analytics for several reasons, allows us to know what people are doing, right? So what we need to do is set different KPIs, key performance indicators, for different parts of the website that are going to show us in which part of the consumer decision journey a person is, right? So, for example, in the beginning parts of the consumer decision journey, if we call it branding, we will all know what the KPIs should be there, right? If we have a content hub or interesting information on our website, we know that we'll have to measure how many people did we get on the website, how many people did read through the article, right? And with Google Analytics, it's very easy to know if someone scrolled to the bottom of an article or if someone's just bounced from there, right? So if we see someone just coming on the website, reading something, then going off, we can tick and say, all right, someone is in the beginning stages of the consumer decision journey, and we have achieved our KPI, right? Someone read the article through. And then, of course, we set different, we call them micro conversions, are all of the different things that the user can do on our website, with which we are satisfied, with which we have created a connection with the user, but there are not yet a purchase, right? So that can be, I don't know, a like to our Facebook page, that could be newsletter subscription, that could be someone has used the tool to compare our products or used a calculator that we have on our website. So micro conversions, and then we can very easily track those micro conversions. How many do we need? Which ones do we need to get a macro conversion? And that is the purchase.
In what time intervals are you optimizing, and are you looking at those micro events, and in what intervals are you optimizing these events or this journey or workflow, or how do you call it?
Generally, what we do when we are creating an extensive analytics system on the web page, we generally set the whole system, and then are our clients listening every day? All right, not every day, of course not. We need to get good amount of data that we can then work on. But of course, when the if the website changes, or not changes, but when the web marketing and website develops, we need to change that. Because we do advertising based on this, that means that we very often, a couple of times a week, see what the results are, and then we can just adjust if needed, right? So on its own, it's not, if the strategy is set right, you don't really have to change it as much, but it's we see results in advertising or any other marketing strategy, then we can adapt that.
Okay, so when is the perfect time to set up this, strategy, and do you always make like a big, roadmap or implementation plan of all these micro conversion goals, of all the content on the website at the beginning, or are you doing so learning by doing and repairing and fixing things on the way?
I think we would wish that we would always be able to do it at the beginning, right? But getting a client that is already a big company that already have all of the marketing strategies, of course they're not, even if they like us a lot, they're not going to allow us to change everything. Change your analytics, change your marketing, change your content, and so on, so on. So there's a lot of, you have to be flexible. Just have to be flexible. And of course, on the other hand, as the guys said, if you're a smaller company that has to do 700 things a day, all of that can't be really prepared in advance. Being lean is one of the keywords that we always use. Is of course good, and it can help you. It's better than nothing, but having a strategy in the beginning is the real answer for me. But maybe that's just me because I like things set up.
Alex and Martin, do you have some sort of strategy like this, of user journey, traveling through these 4 stages? Do you plan your content and web presence in a way like this, like Peter structured, or do you have more like a stochastic approach?
Well, I think what you said was pretty interesting, also very true about what it takes to get a person to actually convert. You said 5 times visiting your site to actually book a flight. I think building that trust is very hard to do, and something that we need to do and establish very early is to be very transparent with businesses and consumers, and just kind of build that trust with people. I know myself, I'll double check everything when I'm making a payment online. Especially through like an app or something like that. It's new, it's scary, and so I always double check. But even my aunt, trying to get my aunt to buy something online is like pulling teeth. She will not enter any kind of account information online. People are like that. So yeah, 5+ website visits just to get a person to even interact with you, it's difficult. So,
do you have that kind of data on base which you can predict, how many times your average visitor or buyer should come on your website? What are the triggers? Are you monitoring your, web decision process in a way like this, or are you not there yet when you have all these things systematically sorted out?
Yeah, I couldn't give you an answer on that quite yet. That'd be a question for the tech guys.
Okay. For the next week, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Martin.
Well, yeah, we have kind of we have also like challenge because our services are actually quite expensive. Like for instance, like an average trip costs around 1,000 euro, which is a lot to pay online to an obscure startup in Slovenia, right? If you're in the States. But we were surprised. It's actually, we succeeded this for 33 times, I think, until now. So it's not a lot, but it's also like, it gives you confidence that it's doable, right? So, but regarding the data, gathering data and having this, trying to track this conversion process, the buying process, we definitely have installed this type of micro conversions, which try to see how much, I mean, one of these conversions is actually worth. We like to assign values to each of this part of a conversion, and we actually can see how much it was worth it and how much ad spend we had to invest in order to get this conversion. Then you can obviously see whether this return on ad spend is positive or not, which is a key metric, of course, if you want to scale. So we do have, just to give you an example, like a basic lead conversion we call, which means that if somebody is like more than 30 seconds on our website, it means it's not just a simple bounce, but he was at least reading something, interacting in a certain way. Then we obviously have something like a conversion on a profile, on a newsletter subscription. Then whether he was sending a message to our providers, whether he was sending a message to us, whether once he clicked on the first book button, once he clicked on the proceed book button, and once he actually made the complete booking. And when you add all this together, you should come to our average commission we make on one booking to be actually positive, right? So that's very important for us. It's not only to be a business which is actually profitable, but it's also about improving our interface, because we are obviously exploring what the best user interface is in order to increase these conversions. So it's definitely very helpful, and we are also using Google Analytics. Yes, it's the easiest to use.
Okay. How much time do you spend working on this data and analyzing it? So in average per week, is this like one day, or are you looking at this data and optimizing this conversion and setting new goals and everything like 2 hours per day or 5 hours per week? So how much time, so approximately, are you spending on this issue?
Okay, I mean, when I was into Google AdWords, when I was testing this a bit more extensively, you can get obsessed by it. Just look at this data all the time. You have it on your desktop, you have it on your mobile. You can just check it all the time. It's just fun to see. Who is online, from which regions they are they converting, aren't they converting? It's just you can spend a whole day on this, but this is not selling at the end. So you have to somehow decide on how to synthesize this information in an efficient way. So it really depends on which stage we are. For instance, now I'm doing far less with Google AdWords because it wasn't that successful until now, because we just need a higher budget, but we have the campaigns ready. So once we have the money, we would again push. So at this moment, I mean, Google Analytics is essential. So let's say a few hours per week for sure, but I'm not looking at it like for 2 hours per day, for sure, not anymore. But I look here and then, obviously, and like at least 3 team members are checking this regularly. And then it just depends on what we do with this data. It could inform the marketing strategy decision. It could inform the development team how to improve the interface. And we actually discovered a quite cool tool, which is called Hotjar. I guess there are similar tools out there which actually records, videos on what the users are doing on your website. I don't know if this is completely legal, because I realized that you can see when they add actually their emails inside, which means you could also see when they enter their credit card numbers inside. So I don't think it's completely legal, but it's actually quite interesting to check, because we see the data, but we don't see what people really do when they're on our website. And only when we saw these videos, we saw what kind of stupid mistakes we actually did, because of users there, they have it right, you know. We thought maybe they're smart enough to do it like that, but no, they didn't do it. So we were losing tons of customers because of just a stupid interface mistake.
So what was the most surprising and the most stupid interface mistake you have made on your... No, just, you know, we have to try to be
it's just a technical thing, I guess, but it was related, it was more or less, we have only a web application now, it's not a mobile app yet, native mobile app. So when the user was on mobile, we have a really fancy filtering system for the specific sport conditions that somebody's looking for, and we are super proud of it, and we want to boast about this, you know, and just everybody should use it. But on the mobile phone, actually it covered all of the listings. So somebody was like scrolling, it was like 3 pages of scrolling down in order to come to the actual, you know, offers. So just people just got lost, what's that, and just left the page, you know.
Okay, cool. All right, you and your team, do you already have this all analytics and everything in place, so you are really ready to, you know, to go for a global growth and to push a big marketing budgets into the advertising? Do you have this strategy in place already, or are you still, you know, trying to figure it out, what to do, in what stage, with what tools? Tell us a little bit about that, because you are already present on the US market. What stage you are at the moment, and what are the next steps for you and your marketing team?
Under construction, if you will. We're still building.
Right.
So the idea is to get all the groundwork done, get everything synced together, just a unified voice. So when we do head out and really go in strong with trying to get the word out, everything sounds, you know, crystal clear and perfect. So,
do you have the timeline already? Because the timeline is something that is very untangible, especially in the startup world. So you said you will do something in 2 months, but then you do it in half a year. So do you have already a timeline of your marketing activities? When are you going to start a campaign on the US market, or when are you going to start advertising campaign and stuff like that? Do you all have the timeline already in place?
A basic one, sure. We expect to mobilize within 3 months. We have a wave of employment coming up, so yeah. And then after that, another 3 months, we're going to shift focus from B2B to B2C, so, and then dabble along with that for a little while. But we expect to change our content marketing strategy accordingly to which phase we're in at the moment. So stay tuned.
All right. So what is your content strategy? So you are a Reveel app. You're trying to. What is your selling proposition? So what is your unique selling proposition? What is your one sentence you are marketing your company with?
Gotcha. Boy, all right, one sentence. That's it.
Yeah. Or maybe 2, okay?
2 sentences.
Yeah.
Still trying to say the right thing so boss man doesn't kill me over here.
Yeah. Janje, where are you? All right.
Well, we want to provide a solution for, you know, really a gateway between businesses and consumers and connecting them, you know, on a mobile platform. So getting, just having that extra connection and forming those ties between businesses and consumers through video content and unlocking that hidden content. I hate using that word, content, but content.
Okay.
There you are.
All right, cool. Janje, what is this? Good enough?
How'd I do?
Yeah, okay.
I'll get it later.
All right. So we always come down to this content and content strategy. Content is the king and everything. Peter, tell us, you know, what does it mean good content, and how much effort does it requires to really said I have a good content? For Adria, let's say, or for Big Bang, what does it mean good content? Is this 1 article per week, or this 1 article per month, or per day, or what is good marketing that can, you know, get you to certain goals?
That is a giant question. I'll try to answer that, and I'll start with something else.
We've got 15 minutes to 8 o'clock, so...
All right, I'm good. I'll start with something else. The most interesting thing that I've heard on this year's HubSpot conference. HubSpot is a very important provider of software for inbound marketing, right? What they told at the conference was they get 80% of their leads through content that is more than 6 months old on their website. And that means that even if they stop doing any marketing and any sales, they'll still get 80% of their leads, right? So this is something that tells you how good content is really important on the page. How to create good content and how to get there, this is a very problematic question, right? It's very expensive in the means of time or money. So which one of those two you have, you can invest them to get good content, right? That's number one. Number two, it's the question of how big your company is. In small companies, it can be easier because you can just force everyone to create content. In bigger companies, of course, it's a bit harder because you have to do internal PR to get people to help you with creating the content. I always stand for companies should create their content themselves, because I think that they know the most information about their products or about their customers, about the questions and so on. They should probably post at least one article every week on their webpage. Of course, that's just a general sentence that I would say to someone not knowing anything about them. Research has shown that twice the content, 4 times the leads, something like that, right? So 2 times a day would be the best thing, but getting there, it's nearly impossible. For the companies that we work with, once a week has worked very well, because there are other things that need to go with that. There's a lot of preparation that should be prepared with good content, and then there's marketing for that content. It's social media, it's newsletters, other stuff that you do with the new content. So you need time to do all of that.
Okay, what do you mean the preparation for the content? You mean by writing the article, finding the right pictures, videos, and everything? This preparation, or do you have anything else in mind?
It's that, but it's a bit more complicated, right? Because it doesn't, at least most of the companies that I've seen, it doesn't just happen by itself. You need the editor that has to, okay, we have a strategy, so we know what kind of content generally has to be done. But then the editor has to speak with the person that has to create that content and help him creating that content. It's a process. It's not, I've written the article, let's put it online, right? You have to work a couple of days with that person. And then you have to prepare other stuff. It's not only the basic article, the title and the pictures, it's meta content, it's how the pictures are going to be used, what parts of the website it should go on to, and all of that. And then of course posting the content. I know it sounds silly that it takes time to post a blog content on the web page, but someone in the company has to do that, and it's an hour, and it has to be checked, and someone else has to recheck that, and all of that. And in some companies, it can take a bit more of the time. So all of that together, it takes some time. So we always need to pre-schedule that time before we publish the article.
All right, great. So talking about the global promotion of the product, Martin, what are your goals? Where do you want to be in 1 year? You said you sell 36.
Yeah, I had to correct myself. That was 33 in Germany. It was a mistake. It's like over 80 now.
Okay.
Globally.
Okay.
Yes.
So, do you know what you have to do to sell 3,333 packages on a global scale? What is your strategy to get there? How are you going to achieve that?
As said, we were just experimenting with everything we found out about marketing, all the sales strategies you can have online. Of course, not all of them, but things that we heard of, we tried. And now we are, for instance, trying Instagram, which is very hard to to create traffic to your website from Instagram, because it just doesn't allow links. So you have to find ways how to set links. So we created, for instance, special accounts where you actually have the link to the specific offer, you know, as a way around. But until now, I haven't seen much traffic coming from them. So it's a question: is it worth it or not? I don't know. It's good branding, but can we do something out of it? Can we monetize it? So we tried many different things. So it's for what I can say now, Facebook ads definitely work very well. But I think we were focusing far too much on paid traffic until now, because that was just the easiest thing to do, because content is just so hard to create. It just takes time or money. We don't have neither of them. But it's a good idea just to force everyone to at least publish like an article once per month. I think that should be doable. So we should try that. And we really want to refocus now much more into content, because it's just so much a better investment if you think of it long term, because it just creates the brand, it creates the community, and this is far more worth than just like an ad that's out there for a while and you pay for that click, which is gone afterwards, right? So yes, I mean.
Can you share with us? You said you tried many things. Can you share, you know, one or two things that didn't work as expected, and one or two that expect or, you know, performed better than you have expected? Maybe one cases for, you know, good and bad surprises.
Okay, I mean, what is increasingly getting more efficient is Facebook ads. It's around 2.0 return on invest right now. It was, you know, we were trying to get at 1.0 at least to get the money back we invest, and now we're at 2.0 and we are like out online for 11 months. So it really, you can see you're progressing, you're improving, you're making it more efficient. So this is something that works well. Whereas AdWords, I've been trying it for 5 months, let's say, with very little means set. I mean, to maybe give out the trick. Hopefully, there's nobody, not a representative from Google here, but I can maybe explain what I was doing. I was reusing all the time this Google coupons, which you get, like you can get for $75 for free, you know, ad that you can spend. And I was opening a new AdWords account every week because I spent like 75 in 3 days like that, because it was global. I mean, we selected a bunch of countries we want to market in, but still it was on a global scale, which means it went very, very quick. And I'm not even talking in display ads, which were like amazingly quick. But I learned you know, you just have to spend a lot of money in order to optimize this type of advertising, and you will need thousands of dollars to make this work very well. So I was just trying with the little means we had, and it just wasn't positive. For instance, yeah, actually we actually got like 2 bookings out of it, which would at the end almost make it positive. But the bookings were cancelled at the end because the provider didn't have the availability at that month, you know. So there are so many things that are interrelated, and it just, when you do this on scale, it can be, you know, the numbers will work. But when you do it on a small scale like you know, there's just like coincidences that might just completely ruin your budget or strategy.
But do you think do you already have the recipe for a global scale? So in case you not if, but when you get the investment, you know, and when you put, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of euros into the marketing, you can get the positive net return investment.
Again, it's not that easy. You know, you also have to have the supply and the customer support and everything. You know, if you want to sell at this scale, so it has to grow gradually and, you know, interlinked. But yes, as I said, Facebook is very much positive, and I guess it will get even more efficient throughout the time, which means we could just throw out money in Facebook ads, and I guess we would get more and more back. But I don't know what will happen when we reach like much higher thresholds as we are at now. But this is something I could easily say to an investor, look, I mean, this is working, we need to invest far much inside, because I'm pretty sure, I mean, numbers are proving we'll get this back at least twice.
Okay. Peter, is this trial and error approach the only way to figure out, you know, the effective recipe for being present on the global market, or, you know, is there any, you know, more friendly cookbook to help with?
In general, I think that if you set up the basics right,
Basics meaning
the advertising basic, right? You need to know and understand what are your targets, what is the message, what is your KPI, what is your content, right?
Right, okay.
So setting that up in a good way can help you to get, let's say, halfway, right? But then there's a lot of the things that happen by itself. Some of the things are like the things that happened with time. For example, AdWords. If you were opening a new AdWords account every time, that of course doesn't help you, or it even harms you, right? Because AdWords works very bad at the beginning, but then when the account gets history, the CPCs or CPAs go down, right? So in one way, then, so yeah, the other half can be, you can get it with testing and trying. And of course, if you have some more of the more knowledge that you have, the more your testing can be targeted. And this is the thing that I think that is going to separate a good testing and bad testing. If you just go and throw everything everywhere around, nothing is going to stick, right? But if you know where to throw, you can just throw one or two, and then something is going to stick.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So Alex, in B2B business, tell me a little bit about your approach. So what are your goals, and exactly what are you going to achieve, and how you are going to achieve them? So how are you getting your B2B customers on board? Is this web strategy only part of your marketing, and do you have any other channels or approaches?
Yes. We do want to reach out to influencers, opinion makers over there overseas, in the California markets particularly, in that little tech hub. So the more people we can reach out to with a larger voice, the more people we can influence, that would be ideal. As far as any other initiatives we have right now, they're not completely fleshed out yet, so I can't comment on that right now, but so far, so good.
All right. Okay, we have still times for some questions, so now it's your turn. If you have any question. If you have posted something on Twitter, please in English, because the discussion is in English. No, just kidding. There's one question, Aleš, I think. Just give me one mic, please. Yeah. All right.
Hi, I have a question. Maybe, let me phrase it like this way. We all know those viral videos and articles. Everybody watches them. Everybody sees them. Nobody really pays much attention to them. They have practically no content, but everybody likes them. How would you make quality content, actually how to make quality content that would go viral without leaning on the viral properties too much?
I can try and answer that.
The holy grail of viral marketing. So
Make it
tell us the
viral.
secret.
So the viral package at the Red Orbit is 7,000 euros. Just come there. No, no idea. The keyword that you're looking for is big content. Big content is something that we describe as creating content that is going to get picked up by big media outlets. And it does not rely on kittens having fun or whatever other thing that is right now on the top of Reddit, right? What the big content does is shows information or data in an interesting way, may that be video, may that be an app or whatever, right? An example for that I'd like to use is, and I've shown it before, New York Times created a lineup of all of the finishers on Olympic Games sprints and their times, how the times increased in time, right? So in last 50 years or whatever we have the new Olympic Games, so probably a bit longer, yeah, how their times increased and created a great video out of that, right? So it's public data that you can reuse, and it's pretty cheap, and it does go viral, whatever that means. It gets a lot of views, it gets a lot of links for SEO, and it gets a lot of attention from users, and it's still on the, it can be on the theme that your company is doing, right? On the topic of what your company is doing. So it can get you recognition in the people that you would like to, and it can get you in the minds of the people that you would like to, something like that.
All right. Any other comments on viral, super viral content videos? No. Okay, another question? No?
I would like to ask, how long do you think that video versus reading, this duel, will last when the video will totally win over the normal articles?
I'll just answer never. I don't think it will. I don't believe the stats that are saying that people don't read on the internet. It's not only that I don't believe in them. I've seen great, long, in-depth articles that get read all the time, right? It's just another channel that has to be used for the right content in the right way. And if it's that way of content, then you use video, and it's a different way of content. You use articles, right? The example I normally give is, if you want to teach someone fly fishing, an article could do the job, but the video would do it much easier, right? So use a video. But yeah, I'm sort of a bookworm, so I'll just always answer, articles are great, we like to read books.
Okay. No? Ah, there.
Yeah, I just want to know if maybe anybody knows the term digital nomad.
Digital what?
Nomad.
Okay, digital nomad?
Yeah, like location independent business.
Working remotely, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like if you see a correlation between working like that and between the global promotion.
Okay.
Well, I can only say, I don't know if it really completely answers this, but it is linked to digital nomads and to marketing. So, for instance, in our market, surfers, for instance, they have this type of lifestyle. They just like to, you know, live independently, live for their sport, but at the same time they need jobs, and they're like tech savvy, so they have their web developers, they're, I don't know, they're like just programmers or whatever, and they would like to travel around. So this is type of a dream job, right? A dream lifestyle they would like to have, to be a digital nomad in a certain part of your life, of course, period of your life. So we just figured out, okay, this is something people really like to read about. They really want to, you know, dream about at least this lifestyle. So we decided we really want to start pushing this and maybe, you know, giving them this dream at least in a blog, you know, or video, just, you know, and get them to us, you know, and maybe in future we might even try to figure out a way how we could offer them this sports experience and also the job they need in order to have this type of lifestyle. But otherwise, please specify a bit more your question, because I don't know what else I could add to that.
Was the answer...
Were you asking if it was possible to have a job abroad working in marketing, or?
No, I mean, I want to believe that it's possible. I sincerely hope it is. No, I mean, if you think if there is a correlation, I mean, when you start this kind of a life and you travel around and you are meeting different people and you are integrating in different communities of, I don't know, companies, startups, whatever, and with digital nomads. I mean, is it sensible to do, I don't know, like global promotion via stops around the world?
Sure, yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head with the affirmative yes answer, yeah. I'm sorry, I wish I could be more help.
Okay.
Maybe was there a video just going around of a person that just did that? He'd made a job for a day at any marketing agency around the world, and he traveled around the world doing that. Just, I'll work for free for a marketing agency, and you'll give me food and a bed. So it obviously works.
Marketing digital nomad. Sasha.
I think that would be a perfect thing for Martin. Basically, he was into movies and filming and camera stuff. Filming all the best spots around the world that you then sell, that would be perfect, being a digital nomad. But I think you have one nomad at your house, so the timing is not right. You're not able to travel. But I think what I saw, Peter, today, what you were showing about different countries in the world and how to behave in those countries, this is maybe one of the things that bStoked can do as a content. If you can maybe share this, I think this could be a helpful thing.
This is the other example of the big content that I spoke about previously, right? It's a company that created an application where you just choose the country that you want to travel to, and it gives you brief information on how to behave in different parts of life in that country, right? Meaning, how much do you have to tip? What are the basic words that you have to use? How to eat? What to eat? And all of that stuff, right? So what this creates is it invites people that like to travel, and invites general people that just like to snoop around the internet, and it gives you your brand a lot of exposure, and it's a content that will be able to be everlasting, long-lasting, right? So you just create it once, and then it can just stand on your website, and people are going to revisit it all of the time, right?
Cool. All right. Yeah, we have to wrap up because otherwise people will. Carry me out here for obvious reasons. So just to wrap up with maybe one thought or one advice for any startup who wants to start a global promotion or global approach, where to start or what to start with. So one very simple sentence or advice where to start with.
I'm an Ordnung und Disziplin guy, so setting up Google Analytics or any other analytic tool and setting your marketing KPIs, knowing where to go with them would be a start for me, because I think this is the basics of everything.
Okay, wir verstehen das.
I would say develop a mission statement, something that defines you as a company, audience, figure out what you do for that audience and how you really help them, and let your culture kind of carry your brand. And yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Well, I would say understand your customer as much as possible and try to give them what they want. And in the ads, it should be given in a cool way, and that kind of is in line with their lifestyle and their kind of culture they're in.
Cool. Thank you very much. One big applause for. Now that we have learned everything about the global promotion or how to start the global promotion, now we can watch how our Slovenian national team will try their luck with their global promotion. And okay, thank you.